you here. I'm going to change this up a little bit. You're here. You're here. Great. Okay, so you see who's standing next to you? There's nobody on that side. Look who's standing next to you here. Jonas. Okay?
I just want to tell you this, but we're actually in the same exact class at school.
That's amazing. I know that. So you guys are friends already. So stand next to each other. Cool.
Okay,
All right,
so
just look where you're at. So you're going to be called back up and you're going to do your
this girl and this girl, this girl and this girl.
Has everybody got what they got to do? Should we talk about the mic again, or we're good with the mic?
Nope, we are good with the
I'm so happy we're good with the mic. Okay, so you guys can go sit with your
And
parents because you know exactly what you're
And
going to do.
if anybody starts to mess with...
What time? For 2 minutes? Stay up here.
Oh. Back in your place. Nancy, I'd like to tell you this, but David and I exactly no clue where my parents are. Sometimes no clue.
I'm not going to be standing in front of you either, guys. Look, I'm not going to be standing in front of you.
Same choice with me.
All right? I'm going to be standing over here from my name so you can see me, but I'm not going to be standing in front of you. You know what?
Okay.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. I'm not on. I'm on. Shabbat shalom, everyone. We are going to start our service. Welcome. We expect you to be following the directions that you're going to hear. Thank you, Shir Kids. Shabbat Shalom. You are ready, so that should have been a little bit more enthusiastic. Shabbat Shalom. That was lovely. Well done. We are excited to be together this evening. This weekend is our Israel Scholar in Residence, and he is at our 7:30 service, but we decided we couldn't keep the fun until 7:30. We are also going to have a little bit of Israel theme this evening to bring Israel and Shabbat together. So I want to take you to a spot in Israel on Kibbutz Gezer. And out in the fields, there is a bench. And I made part of that bench out of cement a long time ago. And on that bench, you can sit and look out over the fields where the sun is going to set. And they called that area where the bench is the Lecha Dodi area, because they wanted to recreate the idea of the mystics going out into the fields to greet Shabbat as the bride. So I want you to picture yourself sitting on that bench and watching the sun go down over the fields, and then standing up to welcome in Shabbat as a bride. And imagine that glow of light as the sun goes down coming into you as Shabbat. And you want to take that Shabbat and allow it to slow us down, because Shabbat is our day of rest. So you want to allow it to slow down your thoughts. Try to turn some of them off for a little while. Let it slow down your breathing. Let it slow down your heartbeat so that we can take in Shabbat together. Now in Israel, we're going to get to the flag a little later, but the emblem, the symbol of the state of Israel is the menorah. And how many branches, how many candles do you think this menorah has? Shout it out. Oh, I heard an 8, and I heard a 9, and I heard a 7, and the 7 is correct. Because the original menorah in the land of Israel had just 7 candles, and it was lit in the ancient temple. So imagine that ancient temple where people came together with the menorah lit, and we are going to light our 2 Shabbat candles here to bring Shabbat in together. And we are going to invite forward to help us with candle lighting Bridget Henry and her family. She is going to be called to the Torah tomorrow as bat mitzvah, so we invite her up to lead us in the candle lighting. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Okay, we're going to continue with Kiddush. You hold one. I'm going to hold the other. Please join with us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'vratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha Be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Mazel tov and Shabbat shalom. It is now time to be able to bless the kids in our community who are celebrating their birthday in the month of April. So if you are less than 13 and have a birthday in the month of April, we invite you to come forward. All right. So we wish for you in this season of spring that just like all new things will grow, that you will grow and have a wonderful year ahead of you. In Israel, they say ad 120 until 120. So I'm going to guess that you guys have a little while to go to get to be 120. But may you continue to have a wonderful year ahead so that you will have many years to come. And let's sing happy birthday to them.
Yom
Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday.
April birthdays. Happy birthday
To you. All right.
Do we have something for them?
We do have something for them. We have TCBY certificates for you. There you go. Just had to get out more because we haven't had a month with 5 recently. This is exciting. There you go. All right, you guys can sit down. Thank you and happy birthday. All right. Their birthdays and my birthday are good things happening in April, but there are also good things that have hopefully happened to some of you since you were last with us for Shabbat or in the last week. So if you have something good to share with us, we want to be able to say thank you to God for all the good things in our lives. So is there anybody who has something good that happened to them this week that they can share with us? Yes. Nice. All right, a field trip, and I bet that it's been a while since you had a field trip. That's great. Yes. You're going on an overnight field trip.
He went.
Or you already did it, and you slept at the aquarium.
That's so cool.
That is very cool. Did you sleep with the sharks? Cool. Abby. Abby wrote a news article for the Charlotte Jewish News, and you should spec it out in May.
Good job, Abby.
Yeah. You had a third recess?
Huge.
There was just one day where you got 3, or you're going to get 3 every day? Wow, a third recess. Fabulous. Yeah. They finally got to prank their teachers for April Fool's Day because you were with them. That probably helped. Anybody else? I also just want to comment that parents and other grown-ups, you can have good things happen to you too. Okay, one of the butterflies in their classroom was released into the world. Beautiful. You fooled your teachers? 80 times. You were very, very busy.
Oh, I heard 80. Thank goodness it was just 8.
Wonderful. Welcome back from Israel. A certificate in music. Wonderful. We're glad you have you in Shir Kids. You lost your first tooth. Congratulations.
That's big.
Okay. Yes. I need that repeated. Your report went really well. Great. Yes. Thank you. Wonderful. Able to travel and be with family after a long time. Anybody else? So for all those things and any other good things that may have happened to you, we say Asher Chiyanu, thanking God for enabling us, for getting us to this moment and to being able to celebrate all of these moments as a community.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kimanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh.
Shir Kids got us warmed up before and ready to pray. So I'm going to invite you now to stand up for the Baruch Hu, which tells us that we are ready to pray as a community.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. I'm going to invite Shir Kids to come back up on the bima as we get ready for the Shema. And as we get ready for the Shema, I want you to imagine the very first time that Moses said the Shema. Moses said the Shema standing on the hills on the other side of the Jordan, looking over into Israel. So if we imagine Moses standing there and saying to the people, "Listen, Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one." We imagine that being said thousands of years ago, and now the echoes of that going through all the different generations of people and bouncing all over the world until we say it together right here.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. יאללה 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 והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. יאללה 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 ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת ושבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושופך ובנך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך. יאי לי, יאלה לה לי, יאלה לה לה לי, יאי לי לי לה לי, יאי לי 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 לה 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 לי, יאלה לה לה לי, יאי לי 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 לי.
Continue with Micha Mocha, imagining the Israelites crossing through the Red Sea and celebrating on the other side.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אדוני, ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי אנו ואמרו, זה לי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Thank you, Shir Kids. You guys can sit down. In a moment, we are going to sing Vishamru, followed by our opening to the Amidah, and then we're going to have time for silent prayer. So I'm going to invite you again to imagine your silent prayer somewhere in Israel. Maybe you're going to imagine yourself at the wall in Jerusalem, thinking about all of the millions of people that have stood there offering their prayers. Or maybe you want to be out in nature. Maybe you're going to be at the top of Mount Carmel, in Haifa, at the top of the Baha'i Gardens, overlooking the port. Or maybe you are standing by a stream in En Gedi, watching an ibex with its horns that could be a shofar in the future, climbing up the rock. Maybe you're standing in the Negev, looking over sand and rock and desert for miles and miles. Wherever you imagine yourself, you are connected to all the people offering their prayers this Shabbat, fulfilling the words of Vishamru that tell us to observe Shabbat and see it as a sign between God and the Jewish people.
Vishamru ene Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru ene Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beni uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, veshamru lenei Yisrael et hashabbat, la'asot et hashabbat ledorotam berit olam. Yom Hashvi, Shabbat Vayinafash, Shabbat Vayinafash, Shabbat Vayinafash, Veshamru, Vene Yisrael, HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat, Ledorotam Berit Olam, Veshamru, Vene Yisrael, HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat, Ledorotam Berit Olam.
We stand for the Amidah. We'll do this opening line together and then continue with silent prayer. Ufi Agi Kehilatecha Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam Shalom. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam Shalom. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
When we come together as a community to pray, we pray for thanksgiving, for saying thank you to God for things. We also pray for healing. We think about those in our life who are in need of healing, whether it's healing of the body or healing of the mind or spirit. And we try to take them into our hearts so that we can send out to them all of our wishes and prayers and hopes for them. So our list of people on Army Shaberach, those whom we know to be in need of healing, is going to scroll on the screen. But we also invite you to add out loud anyone you are thinking about for healing this Shabbat. Take all of those names into our hearts as we offer this prayer for healing. Sheberach avotenu mekor habracha le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. All right, this time I'm not going to ask you to imagine yourself in Israel, but imagine yourself in Switzerland. It is the year 1897, and a man named Theodor Herzl is about to lead the first Zionist Congress. What is that? He is about to have a meeting where there are a group of Jews from all over the world who are going to get together and say that they think that the Jewish people should have a state, a country. And legend tells us that just a few minutes before the meeting was supposed to start, Theodor Herzl, who'd been writing and thinking about this for years and had important people coming from all over the place, suddenly realized he had a problem. He was missing something. Every country has a flag. And if he was going to declare that the Jews should have a country, he needed a flag. And he looked around the room, and there was nothing in the room, and he started to panic because people were starting to arrive for this conference, and he needed to go say hello and welcome them because there was going to be some important voting and conversations. So he went into the hallway, and he found his friend, David Wolfson, and he told him the problem. And he said to him, "You have to go out into the city of Basel, Switzerland, and you need to find me a flag for the Jewish people. We can't start our meeting without this flag. You have to do it for me." So David agrees, and he goes out into the street, and he starts looking around, and he goes into stores, and he picks up every piece of fabric that he can find, and he's trying to think, what color should it be? What symbol should it have on it? And he hasn't found anything. And he's starting to worry when he gets to a small synagogue and decides he's going to take a break by sitting in the sanctuary for a few minutes try to calm his nerves, and then he'll be able to think of what the flag should be. And while he's in the sanctuary, the rabbi comes in and greets him and asks him what's wrong, and he explains his problem. And the rabbi says, I don't know how to help you. The only piece of cloth that I have in here is a talit, a prayer shawl. We've been wearing it for thousands of years, but this isn't going to do you any good. It's not a flag. And all of a sudden, David Wolfson had a light bulb go off. The talit, it was a symbol. And it was something that Jews had been wrapping themselves in and thinking about the land of Israel for centuries and centuries. This could be a flag. So, according to legend, he took that talit and he took off the corners. He didn't need the knots that are the part that we need when we're praying in a service. And he took his pen and he drew a 6-pointed star, the shield of David, in the middle of the talit. And he rushed back to the hall where the convention was about to start. And they flew the talit. And then, in 1948, when Israel became a country, they voted that that would be the flag, the talit with the star in the middle, taking symbols that meant things to them for hundreds and thousands of years and making it into a flag. And still today, this flag represents us and the land of Israel, and also represents that Theodore Herzl's dream came true. He ended one of his most famous books with the words, Im tirtzu ein zo agada. If you will it, it won't be a dream anymore. And we are going to sing those words.
That's my cue, right?
That is your cue. Im tirtzu ein zo agada, ein zo agada, ba-da-da-da-da-da, liyotam chofshi be'artzenu, be'eretz le'tzion, Yerushalayim, tirtzu ein zo agada, ein zo agada, ba-da-da-da-da, liyotam chofshi be'artzenu, be'eretz le'tzion, Yerushalayim.
It's an oldie, but a very good one.
It is an oldie but a goodie, and next time I'll do the dance that I know to it. I'm sparing you the dance tonight, but I am going to ask you to stand as we move to Aleinu.
Aleinu
L'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'atei kedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'goraleinu kechol hamonam. Va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar ve'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. At this time, we remember those who are no longer with us, those who have left their mark on our lives and whose memories live on through us. And in our community, we remember the recent passing, those who have not yet been buried. We remember Gary Waller, father of Mike Waller, and Jerry Bernstein, father of Betsy Olinger. And in the period of Shloshim, those who have been lost in the last 30 days, we remember Joshua Emil Blyer, Robert Chamow, June Owen Perry Flick, Linda Garu, Mona A. Lieberman, Ann McDonald, Lloyd E. Merkelson, Joel Sheldon Rudick, Thomas Ryan, and Max Shore. We remember the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of Henrietta Alter, Sam Anoff, William Ben Applebaum, Ethel Applebaum, Thomas Barrett, Janet Levin Block, Louis Borrow, Rinky Cardoza, Arthur Cardoza, Natalie Chesler, Jenny S. Cohen, Herbert Seymour Cohen, Elaine Selma Kojak, Maggie Cook, Mildred Deitch, Albert Edelstein, Bernard Eisner, Kalman Furster, Harold Feuerstein, Max Floor, Al Freiberg, Devora Friedman, Lillian Fennell Freiman, Harry Friedberg, Andrew Nove Gertner, Arthur Gaines, Joseph Geller, Sadie Leah Gerber, Giselle S. Goldstein, Chaya Galinsky, Herman Greenblatt, Mary Gross, Robert Herman, Harry Jackaway, Harris Kahn, Ruth Lakin, Mortimer Levitt, Kalman Levine, Raoul Lewin, Max Maas, Helen Mayer, William McGuire, Donald Mallins, Gertrude Book Mandelbaum, Gregory Margolis, Edith Martin, Michelle Miller, Sylvia Naliboff, Alberto Niego Leon, Ann Knorr, Bonnie Pearl, Rivi Pfeffer, Anna Pointer, Stanley Resnick, Morris Resnikoff, Harry Rosenthal, Gertrude K. Salvin, Francis Schuler, Jacob Schwarzber, Bertha Seaman, Leo Shane, William Julian Sheehan, Louis S. Buddy Simon, Calvin Singer, Israel Smith, Jean Smolin, Arnold Spatz, Bernice Stern. If you are remembering someone this Shabbat, I invite you to share their name out loud and add their name to our list. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. We rise as one community in solidarity with those who mourn to recite Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'galau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alamu almei almaya, v'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
You may be seated. We want to share just a couple of announcements before we conclude our service. As I mentioned, it is our Israel Scholar in Residence weekend. Tonight at our 7:30 service, Dr. Kenneth Stein will be speaking, but you have two other opportunities to hear him. He'll be speaking at our Torah study tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., both here at Temple Bethel in person and also on Zoom. And tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., we'll be having community and conversation with our scholar. We'll do Havdalah and have dessert and learn from him. We also want to mention that for Passover, there are lots of different seders to be a part of, both before Passover and during Passover. Please go online to see those different seders, and particularly for the second night seders, to make your reservation. There's a service for families with young children. We recommend that up till about second grade, and then also a general congregational second night seder. Shabbat updates. Hopefully you saw on your way in, food is back. We had a pre-neg, and if you come to a later service, there are onegs. So we more time for community and bonding and conversation together. Torah study is also going to be following tomorrow. We'll be back in person, but also continue to be available on Zoom, so that we can continue to meet different needs that people have, as well as Saturday morning services will now be back in person, whether or not there are B'nai Mitzvah, but they'll also be available streaming as well. To our final song.
Anana, 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 Yama, Yama, the Kedma, Kedma, Safona, Vanegba, Yama, Yama, the Kedma, Kedma, Safona, Vanegba. May you always try to inspire. May you always try to reach higher and higher. May you bring your goodness and may you bring peace. May you spread it from the west to the east. May you spread it from the north to the south. Ufaratsta, Yama, Yama, V'kedma, Kedma, Safona, Vanegba, Yama, Yama, V'kedma, Kedma, Safona, Vanegba. May you be a light that shines away. May you be a blessing each and every day. May you let the laughter and love increase. May you spread it from the west to the east. May you spread it from the north to the south. Ufaratsta, Yama, Yama, V'kedma, Kedma, Safona, Vanegba, Yama, Yama, V'kedma, Kedma, Safona, Vanegba. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
sorry. Okay. All right. Hi, Ray. How are you? Okay, hop up. Here.
Have you tried climbing your bed? Yes.
Right. this DI. Right? Where's Kate or Thomas playing? I don't think if Caitlin's here, she's not playing. Okay, so then we have Rabbi Knight and Rabbi Nichols and the podium, but I've turned off, testing, I've turned off, okay, so the podium's back on, the candle is back on, and then I've got Rabbi Knight, Rabbi Nichols. Yep, okay. I'm not condoning violence. So.
I mean, I can get where the frustration would come from if that was the case.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, weird.
It is a bad time. Because my girlfriend's mom was watching it. Me and my girlfriend were watching for like the first 30 minutes.